Hi, this is Jason O'Keefe from the Real Home Expert team, a member of the Davenport Brokerage. Today, I'm going to introduce myself, and I have my friend here, Wes Watson, one of the owners of Davenport Realty Brokerage. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. How are you?
Great, thanks for asking. So, what I want to know is, a few years ago, you opened Davenport, and my question would be for you is, why Davenport Realty? Why did you leave a big corporation that we were both belonged to in the past? Why did you leave them and open your own?
My partner Steve and I, and our other partner Jared, we were at our former brokerage for a long time, and we loved our time there. It was great. We got to the point though where we needed something more. We were looking for an opportunity that just wasn't available at the time at that company. We looked at ourselves and went kind of like, okay, now maybe the time to branch out. And we did. We looked at all the franchise options. My partner and I, Steve, we had run the brokerage for a long time, so we understood the back end really well. We had a few opportunities to go with the bigger brands, but we found that it was just the same. It was the same thing, a different box, but it really was the same thing. We're finding that there was a bit of a missing gap in the market with training. Usually, when you're with a larger franchise, they have their franchise box, which includes their franchise training, which is usually specific to one area, which is great. Although, when you have a bunch of agents that do business different ways, it's hard to offer one package to a whole bunch of different people. So we thought, okay, if we're an independent, we have more flexibility in what we need to do. We have a lot more flexibility in decision making, which we needed in order to grow. And I think we've done a pretty good job in the last couple of years to kind of get it pushed on and make it move.
Well, I've been watching you guys as I was still at the other brokerage that you guys came from. So I was watching that for a few years, see kind of where you guys were doing and, keeping an eye on you. Again, same thing for me. I wanted more opportunity, being in the business for 15 years, and I didn't feel I was going to get that opportunity there. That's when, the conversation got brought up with you guys that you do offer that opportunity to agents. And there's different opportunities out there, right? So there's a vision to grow. There's a vision of a lot of different things where you're not going to necessarily get that in a past brokerage or a franchise model, right? So I know that you guys do offer out some franchise models. You're looking at doing that for different cities and different areas, and that's something that we discussed, and that's why you're up in Waterloo and I'm opening up Kitchener with you guys. So that was definitely an opportunity for me. So if you're going to give somebody a little bit of, what are some of the other opportunities you see for other agents, whether it's let's start from a starting agent to a mid-size to a team owner. So let's start with the starting agent. What's the opportunity here? And I think we talked a little bit about training, but can you elaborate a little bit more on how they can start to grow a business and make it a career?
Right, yeah. So when we're looking at like a new agent and what they need, it's a lot different, obviously, from like, a Jason O'Keefe, right? When we're sitting down talking to you, we're not having conversations about like how to write offers, how to do, how to understand clauses and all that stuff, which is great and it needs to be known, but that's not a Jason O'Keefe conversation. The conversation we have is an opportunity conversation with, okay, what is your life going to look like in 5 years? And our passion has always been doing it together. Like, yeah. And I'm gonna bet Jay, you're the same, where it's like the growth comes out of the energy that we put in together, right? And we can form something that could be bigger than what we could do on our own. So an individual agent, we're looking at more the foundational work. It's the offer writing, the scripting, the stuff like that the agents have to do. Social media, how to get clients, how to work your social media effectively, stuff like that. Where when you start moving into like let's say a medium of the road agent, so someone who's doing maybe like 5 to 10, so they're starting to understand the business, they're getting really comfortable, having the conversations, not as much, they're not really thinking about like big teams yet, but now we start planting the seeds on, okay, well, what would your world look like if you had this, and then we start kind of working our way towards something maybe that's a little bit bigger than they are. We do find a lot of agents, kind of settle into their natural groove and are happy. We have awesome agents that, want to do 10 transactions and then they want to fish for 2 months or 3 months. And that's awesome, right? And then we have some agents that just grind and want more, want to grow bigger. And, it's our mission to provide opportunity to those people that want more.
Yeah, and I know during COVID we've talked about this, is we're not getting into doing the training and all that, but I know the other day you guys just sat down and we're starting to build back up that training. We always know that in-person training works way better than Zooms and all that. People got a little tired of the Zoom calls and all that, but I know you sat down with a group of other top agents in here, and you guys are starting to build out that training program again, looking at different things. And again, I would understand that you're looking at different levels for different people. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you right now, as an experienced agent, it's great that I get included in those conversations. So not just being a franchise owner, other agents are involved in that. And as the more you train and the more you learn, the better your business grows. And, you've been doing this for how many years now? Have you been in the industry?
I think 16-ish.
Yeah, and I'm 15. I just went past my 15th year. And I can speak to Wes. I'm sure he's the same as us, the same as me. Is a lot of people don't do it our way. We fail forward. We've made a lot of mistakes, right? Like I tell people all the time, I probably lost 500 transactions in the last 15 years, and it continues to grow because I'm still not there where I need to be. And as much as we talked about that first training of how to write offers, how to do that things, I'm still part of that because it changes every day. COVID changed everything for everybody, right? So it was adding extra clauses, and we've got some amazing realtors at this brokerage that are they love that stuff. Writing up offers, writing up clauses for agents, doing that stuff. And that's the group of people that have come over to this company, and that's part of why I came too.
You mentioned something, and the failing part. I was listening to a podcast last night, and it was an agent on there who has a team, and what really struck me was how good everything was. And I kind of started to get a little bit like that feeling in your stomach where it's like, that's not real. Like, and I think when you look at like the arc of how people get to where they get to, coloring it with rose-colored glasses is not true. Like, and when you speak to most agents, especially successful ones, and if you get the real story out of the back, number one, it's way harder than what they're making it out to be. Mm-hmm. Steve and I were chatting the other day, and we kind of started chuckling, and I think I said something like, if I would have known, like if I had a crystal ball and you told me 2 years ago how hard it was going to be to open a brokerage and me not getting paid for 2 years and the struggles that we had to go through, I don't know if I would have said, yes, let's do it. Right?
Yeah, no, I have that conversation about having my team, like, as an individual agent for 10, 11 years. I think in my year 12, when I first started the team as a small entity, I made way more money then than I have in the last 2 years of having a team. And now it's just getting to the point because I've got the right people, the right talent in the back end to support everything, that I'm finally seeing some benefits of it. Saying that, I still not where I want to be. And when we talk about the training aspect of that, is I need to pour more into the training of the agents and the team than I need to do sell real estate. But if you would have told me that I would have had to go through 2 really tough years,
right.
2-3 years, I don't know if I would have do it again. Like it's not easy. It's not easy running a team. It's not easy running a brokerage.
No,
I mean,
and the things too, and this is coming from 2 experienced people that are definitely on a leadership scale of 1 to 10. Definitely on the upper end. Now, I'm certainly not a 10 or a 9, but I definitely sit around a 7. That fairly competent in this realm, and still get to the point where it's like it's really hard. And there's days when and you and I talked about it where, like I've said to you, would you make more money as a single agent? Like 100%. Oh, right. Yeah. You wouldn't get the satisfaction probably that you need, because we all need, like, especially as drivers, we want that, we want to see other people grow. That's usually why people start teams. I think people start teams for 2 reasons. I think one reason is they want to see people grow, and the other is they think they're going to make millions of dollars. When in reality, it does take time to get there. And the reason I want to talk about this failing thing is understanding that it's okay. And usually drivers, we need that kind of smack in the face to be like, the only way that you're gonna find out you're wrong is to make the mistake, because you telling me, I'm going to do it. I have a driving personality, and I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, we still, even though we hear time and time again from certain people, we still think we can do it our way.
Yeah.
Until we realize that, you know what, they kind of knew what they were doing, and then we adapt, right? So,
Yeah.
Actually, you know, where do you see Davenport in 5 years?
Great question. So it's funny, when we started, we had this, vision, and we're like, okay, when we get to, the vision was reasonable. It was like, okay, can we get to 100 agents, right? Which was a big milestone. And, it's funny, like,
and we're almost there, right?
Yeah, we're at 90 right now. And it is funny, like, again, keep coming back to Steve, but we have those conversations where at the beginning, it's like, I remember we were at like 6, and then we're like, okay, we're at 6, and we just get to 10. And then I remember thinking, okay, when we get to 25, it's going to feel different. Well, we got 25, and it felt exactly the same, just more grinding. And then we're like, okay, well, when we get to 35, we got to 35, we get to 50, it'll feel different. We get to 90. No, here's the deal. It feels exactly the fucking same.
Oh, it's the same as a team. You get to 50 deals, 100 deals, 150. It doesn't change. You
No.
still want to keep pushing.
Yes, it doesn't stop. And the feeling doesn't change. So the conversation we're having now is, okay, we have to start figuring out that we enjoy the process of it. And we do. We do enjoy the process, and we love helping people. And the more people we can help, the better. So yeah, okay, so to speak to your question, 5 years. And pardon me for swearing. But in 5 years, our goal and our focus is we want to be at 500 in the next 3 years.
Yep.
And then we'll be looking at into the thousands in the next 5 years. So,
Yeah, and we spoke about this when I joined. It's like we have opportunities in, right now you've got, we have Waterloo, we have London, we have Burlington, we're hopefully
Kitchener soon.
Kitchener, we're just waiting. I'm just waiting on some space to just come together. We're looking at maybe a January model for that. But from there, it's everywhere. Southern Ontario has so many great cities, so many things, and we're looking for other people that want to get involved in business with us, that want to expand out and stuff like that. And then you're looking at regional directors and team leaders. Like, there's a whole bunch of opportunities at this company for people, and it doesn't have to be people that do 50, 60, 70 deals. It could be somebody that's just really good at doing 20 deals or 15 deals. They may have an opportunity in this company. And I think that's the biggest thing, is if they've got a vision to want to grow and do more, then they should definitely be reaching out, right?
Yeah, and I think that's a great point, Jay. And I think it's just one of those things where it's like, just because, we've always said this, just because you can sell real estate doesn't mean you can grow a brokerage. 100%. They're very different skill sets. Now, the driver has to be there. Like, someone needs to, if you're going to run a brokerage and you're going to drive it, you need to have that in you, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean that you close 50 units in a year, right?
That's right.
It could be someone that did 15 and 16, and they're looking for the next opportunity. And then what we do is we sit around and we figure out, okay, who can we put around that person that can make the brokerage grow even faster? And with our brokerage model, we've positioned it where it's a lot more inexpensive to open a Davenport brokerage than any other brokerage.
100%.
We've made this hub model where you're paying more of a transaction fee to keep the cost low at the beginning, so which gives a really good benefit to the owners of the franchise versus having to hire someone to do your books and understand, which is a quite expensive position because you need someone who's very skilled there.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, we know that with most brokerages, by the time you're done paying your fees and your dues, I mean, unless you're getting to one of these discount brokerages where you get nothing, the fees are all about the same. I mean, I would definitely say that Davenport has a very aggressive fee structure. Mm-hmm. And the other thing that is out there, like, there's some different models out there for people that, join some of these companies, you get nothing if you bring on people. There's other companies where we came from was profit share. Mm. There's other companies out there that do a rev share model. So we kind of have a blend. It's kind of a blended one from one company to another company. We have a nice mix in between where there's a great little rev share program. So for people, like, there's another opportunity. If you're not somebody that wants to own a brokerage or wants to do this, and you just like to, you've added 2, 3, 4 people into your brokerage wherever you are over time, there's an opportunity there where you can actually basically have a net out cap, or you can make a little bit of money in that, and that can keep, through the rev share program, that can keep going through your retirement, and if God forbid something happens to you, there's some money there for your family, right? So it's a nice little retirement package for a lot of agents out there if they spend the time and find people, where most agents don't have that.
Yeah, and I think too, like, one of the reasons that we moved to a rev share model is first of all, we come from a company that profit share, so we do understand that really well, and we do see it as a really great benefit. And people be like, oh, I don't want to, we get the comment like, I'm not a recruiter. Yeah, you know what? Great, that doesn't matter. But here's the deal: is that over the course of time, whether it be 10, 15 years in the business, 20 years, whatever it is, you do have people coming to you saying, why are you working there, right? And I love the fact that, as an owner, here, a little story. When I moved, I started an independent, and I moved to a franchise, and 3 or 4 people came with me. We all kind of went together, but I maybe kind of spearheaded that. Someone benefited from that, correct?
100%.
Right? The owner of that company benefited from that move.
Yep.
I didn't benefit from it, but why shouldn't I benefit in what I did?
Well, it's your relationships.
Right? It was my relationships that pulled that over.
Yep.
So if I'm going to be the one that pulls it over, then why shouldn't I benefit? So in my mind, that's what makes sense. Now, some people will be like, you know what, I'm not a recruiter. Great, but I can tell you over the course of 5, 10, 20 years in the business, people will join that brokerage because of you, and you should be rewarded for that.
100%. I mean, if I past clients become agents.
Right? How many times have you had past clients become agents?
Past clients or friends and family.
Yep.
You take on, you help a past client become an agent. Now you've lost the income
right,
from there. So why not get something from it, right? Like, let's be honest. Like, and that's part of what we say is, you are an influencer in many different ways. You may just not realize it some days. Mm-hmm. And so why not get a bit of a benefit from that? Why not? Why shouldn't your family benefit from it? Yeah. Especially if it's a client or a family member or somebody that's got into business. You've now lost that potential income. So why not get something back for it?
Well, and guys, I'd be happy to own a brokerage that didn't rev share, and I'll keep all of it. Well, or I could work at a brokerage where we do share back some of the revenue.
But that's also, I mean, your long-term goal is to build this up to 500 to 1,000 agents. It's just going to help that. It's going to give that value to that thing. As we talked about from Davenport, we're looking at doing all that different training and all of that stuff. That's a value added. The rev share, a value added. So, more opportunities for people that want that. That's a value added. Do agents have that in all the companies they work for? Absolutely not. I've worked in 3 different companies before here over time, and the funny thing was I always said I was never going to leave the first one I joined. Yet here I am in my 4th one. So
yeah, we all say that.
At the end of the day, it's only a few signs and things, and your clients will follow you. If you've built a relationship with your clients and your friends and your family, they don't really care what name is on the door. They just want to deal with you. Mm. If you've done your job as a realtor, they just follow you, and so you need to take care of yourself and your family. And we all say, money doesn't matter. It does. It opens the life up to enjoy more things. And you know what? If money doesn't matter, give it back to charities. Like, there's nothing wrong with that either. Like, hey, help other people out. So, hey, Wes, if people want to get in touch with you at Davenport, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Just sending us a DM would be fine through Facebook or Instagram, or message me directly on Facebook if we are friends, or you can be my friend. I always want new friends. But yeah,
and your email is what?
So Wes at dvnprt.net. So it's Davenport without the vowels.
And you can always get me through at j@realhomex.ca, or check out my team website at realhomeexperts.ca. You can look through there and find us. In short, is there anything else you want to let people know about a little bit of things going on with Davenport that we missed out here? Is there anything you can think of offhand?
No, I think we're good. I think we're growing at a pretty quick rate. I think now it's kind of cool that people are noticing. I think we had a lot of people kind of, especially at the beginning, kind of sit back and just watch.
I did it.
Right? And I think we have a few more people. I think there's a lot of people that are kind of going like, we want to make sure this thing can fly before we jump aboard. And I get it. I think what I'd want everyone to know is that Davenport is a place for opportunity. And if you want more, we will get you more. We are looking to grow. We are growing. We're looking to grow. We're looking to grow, most importantly, with great people. And if someone is looking for an opportunity in a different city, we want to have that conversation.
Yeah, so that's for the different cities. And also, if you're just a new agent or an agent that just feels that you just need a little bit more from the company you're with training and other things, look, the opportunity can be it doesn't have to be owning a company. It doesn't have to be doing that. It just, if you want to just have that extra opportunity to make a few extra $1,000s for your family and do extra things for them, this is the company that you need to be talking to, because the opportunity is different for everybody. And at the end of the day, we want to see everybody in our world succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's from a team owner, as a friend, as a company owner. That's the goal at the end of the day. We want you to do as much as you can that you want to do. Whether you want to be a part-time agent, a full-time agent, somebody that starts a team, runs a team, we have it all here. And that's the most important thing is, just at least give us a call, sit down with us, hammer at us. We're pretty good guys. We like to have a little fun here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, man, this is awesome. Thank you so
All
much
right.
for having me.
You know what? I want to thank Madeline on my team for putting this all together. She's our social media girl. She is phenomenal. If you have any questions or things you want to put on there, we're always looking for more people to subscribe to now. The podcast we're doing. We got a YouTube channel. Our company stuff. Just reach out to Madeline at realhomex.ca. She can set you up on things. And hey, thanks very much for coming out.